Good morning. Welcome to Join Coding 2015, the third edition.
What our vision is, what sets us apart from other programming conferences, is that it's the joy of coding, that's the name. It's not about the framework or the library that you're going to use tomorrow. It's really not so much oriented towards what you need, but it's really celebrating the love for programming. All the sessions are about having fun. So we have a session about making art with programming. We have a session about making music with programming. It's not useful. It's not supposed to be useful in the sense for your job tomorrow. It's useful in the sense that it broadens your horizon, it liberates your view on programming. And I think that's what many of the participants enjoy and what they find in Joy of Coding that they don't find in other conferences.
Yeah, my talk was kind of a bit of a funny one for the Joy of Coding, right? Because it was more or less a talk about not coding. Where my argument was essentially that coding as we know it now is dealing a lot with the way a computer works as opposed to actually getting something done, as opposed to using the computer as a thinking tool, right? Which is ultimately what we really want. So, instead of biologists doing interesting stuff with the genome, they have to think about things like floating point numbers and Unicode, right, to build their bioinformatics platforms, which just doesn't make sense. You want those people working on cancer, not worried about UI toolkits.
I gave the keynote after lunch. It was about the book that I published last year called Exercises in Programming Style.
And this is a book in which he does one program, or I should say one problem, in 33 different ways. So it's not about the solution. It's not about this is how you do the problem. It's about what are different ways, just exercising yourself, writing a program in different ways to see what's the trade-off. What's the benefit of writing in continuation passing style versus OO style versus functional style.
So I told my audience to actually be open to all these different ways of thinking and to be mindful of when they're solving problems that they have to think about which style and what kinds of concepts are best for the particular situation that they're dealing with.
Well, mutation testing is a technique where you can automatically test the quality of your tests instead of using the default code coverage people are currently using. Code coverage, in my opinion, is just plain wrong. Mutation testing is much better, so I want to advocate people to start using mutation testing instead of code coverage.
We make the whole day happen. So we invite a number of speakers as the keynotes. We organize a call for sessions, so we put it online, and people that think, I want to contribute to the Joy of Coding as well, they can submit session proposals. We select what we want to see, we make the program, we book the venue, we book the caterer, we try to arrange for all the sponsors, but it's super fun, of course. But yeah, it's involved. You want to make sure that everything is okay, that all the speakers have a hotel, that we have all the information on the website, that everything goes well today. So yeah, of course, a lot of work is involved. I like creating things. I think the coolest thing about programming is that I can make something that has never existed in the world before. I can think of something that I want existing, and then I build it and then it's there. I think that's incredibly cool.
I actually have an alter ego and a pseudonym under which I do most of my open source contributions. I do a lot of open source development on the evenings and weekends, away from my professor job.
Whew. What's my joy of coding?
Well, I just like building things, right? I originally started programming because it was basically like an infinite box of Legos. Right? That's kind of how I've always viewed it. It gave me the ability to make things that I wanted to make, whatever that may be. And so I guess the joy that I do derive from coding is basically the freedom that it gives, right? I made this argument in my talk. Being able to program is kind of a superpower, right? You can literally create something out of nothing, which is incredible.
well, I think everybody who goes into programming to create stuff and to build something. And well, with programming in the virtual world, you have infinite possibilities. So you can make anything you want.
I like it. It's just very relaxing in a strange kind of way, because it's like making it's like a frustration all the way until it works. So
Of course, we're already on the lookout for speakers that we think could be fun for next year. But of course, we cannot do it without people buying tickets and without companies supporting us.